Happiness is not a destination. It is a path. A journey we can walk no matter how difficult things get. However, society has led us to believe that happiness comes from external factors, wealth, success, or a life free of problems. But is that really true? Stoicism teaches us the opposite. True happiness does not come from avoiding difficulties, but from facing them, accepting them, and growing through them. And the most fascinating thing is that, in our darkest moments, we often discover our true inner strength. Today, I want to share 12 lessons with you about how to find happiness, even when life feels relentless. These are not abstract theories, but real insights drawn from my own experiences. So pay close attention and listen carefully, because by the end of this journey, you will have keys that can transform your life. Let's begin. 1. What is true happiness? If I told you that you already have everything you need to be happy, would you believe me? Imagine this. You are searching for a hidden treasure. You venture through dense forests, cross vast oceans, and climb dangerous mountains, only to realize that the treasure has been in your pocket all along. Sounds absurd, right? Yet this is how most of us chase happiness. We convince ourselves that it lies in big achievements, landing the dream job, finding perfect love, earning recognition from others. However, even when we achieve these things, an emptiness often remains. Why? Because happiness is not found in the outside world. It is in the way you perceive life. Have you ever had a butterfly land on your hand? It arrives unexpectedly, gifting you with a fleeting moment of beauty. But the moment you try to grasp it, it flies away. Happiness works the same way. It is fleeting, impossible to control, and yet we spend our entire lives chasing it. We tell ourselves, when I have enough money, success, or love, then I'll be happy. But when we finally obtain what we longed for, that same emptiness returns. What if we have been looking at happiness the wrong way? If happiness isn't about accumulating more, could it be about letting go? Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." You may feel joy when buying a new car, but that doesn't mean happiness will last. True happiness lies in contentment, being able to enjoy both a luxury car and a quiet morning with a warm cup of tea. If happiness does not depend on what we possess, can we still hold on to it when life takes an unexpected turn? Shift your perspective. Imagine someone you love is facing the same challenges as you are right now. Would you tell them they haven't accomplished enough? Or would you remind them of how far they've come? Then why not do the same for yourself? Focus on what you have, not what you lack. One day, you will realize that what you take for granted today was once something you deeply desired. Stop postponing your happiness. You don't need to wait for more money, a better job, or a perfect life to feel fulfilled. You can be happy now, in this very moment. Embrace challenges as part of the journey. When it rains, do you get angry and demand the storm to stop? Or do you simply open an umbrella and move forward? Life works the same way. You can continue chasing things that always seem just out of reach, feeling dissatisfied, or you can pause, appreciate what you already have, and realize that happiness was never missing. The question is, what will you choose? 2. Finding meaning in life. Many people believe that happiness comes from wealth, fame, or comfort. But if that were true, why do those who seem to have everything often still feel empty inside? The answer lies in something that Stoic philosophy has emphasized for thousands of years: purpose. It is not circumstances or external success that bring us deep and lasting happiness, but rather the meaning we give to our lives. But how do you find a purpose? Do you need to be a philosopher, a scientist, or a great leader? Of course not. The meaning of life is not something distant or unattainable. In fact, it is found in the simplest things. Think about a time when you helped someone without expecting anything in return. or when you were so immersed in an activity that you lost track of time. Those moments are the first glimpses of a life with purpose. Maybe right now you're thinking, but I don't really know what I want. If that's the case, try asking yourself the opposite question. What makes me feel empty? If your job only provides financial security but doesn't fulfill you, maybe it's time to find a way to contribute more value to the world. If the people around you make you feel lonely, even in a crowd, perhaps you're spending time with those who don't truly connect with you. Sometimes finding purpose isn't about chasing hundreds of paths, but about learning to let go of what no longer serves you. A man can carry a heavy stone for years, feeling exhausted and drained. But if one day he realizes that the stone will be the foundation for building a home for his family, suddenly its weight feels lighter. The same happens with you. The challenges you face take on new meaning when you understand their purpose in your journey. Happiness is not a fleeting emotion. It is the natural result of a life with direction. You don't need to discover your ultimate purpose overnight. Just start with one meaningful action every day. A word of encouragement for someone. Reading that book you've always wanted to. Taking a bold step outside your comfort zone. Little by little, the pieces will fall into place, and you will realize that happiness was never far away. It was always there, waiting for you to see it. 3. Control what you can. Imagine standing at the shore, gazing at the vast ocean. The waves crash against the coast, sometimes gently, sometimes with fury. Can you yell at the waves and command them to stop? Can you order the sea to calm down? Number. But you can learn how to swim. That is the essence of Stoicism. Control what you can and let go of what you cannot. Epictetus put it clearly. Happiness and freedom begin with understanding one principle. Some things are within our control, and others are not. So why do we spend so much energy fighting against what is beyond our reach? Why do we let a single insignificant comment ruin our entire day? Why do we worry so much about the future and forget to fully live in the present? Look at nature. A tree does not complain when the storm arrives. It does not fight against the wind, it bends with it. And when the storm passes, it is still standing. We are the same. We cannot control everything that happens to us, accidents, losses, failures, but we can decide how we respond. There is a story about a young Roman gladiator named Ator. The night before his battle, he was so anxious that he could not sleep. His master pointed to his sword and said, "You can control your blade, but you cannot control your opponent. If you focus on what is beyond your power, you will lose the battle before it even begins." The next day, Ator entered the arena with a different mindset. He did not worry about what his enemy might do. He focused on his own movements. And he won. You can do the same. When you face adversity, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, take action. Do not let the uncontrollable consume you. Do not let the waves drag you under. Learn to ride them. When you master this, happiness stops being something distant and becomes something that you create every day, even in the midst of difficulties. If these words resonated with you, give this episode a like and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe, because every time I uncover a new perspective on life, I want you to be the first to know. 4th, let go of expectations. Have you ever tossed a coin into a wishing well and waited for your wish to come true? In that moment, you probably closed your eyes, held your breath, and trusted that a small piece of metal could change your fate. But life is not a magic well. It does not work according to our wishes. So why do we keep throwing coins of expectation into an empty void, only to be disappointed when there's no echo in return? Epictetus put it clearly. It is not things that disturb us, but our judgment of them. It is not life's events that cause us suffering. It is the way we expect them to unfold. You expect someone to treat you the way you treat them. You expect your career to advance without setbacks. You expect life to follow the path you carefully mapped out. But the truth is, life owes you nothing. The moment you start expecting something with certainty, you set a trap for yourself. And when reality does not align with that expectation, you are the one who falls into it. Imagine yourself as a sailor navigating the sea. You can curse the storm for throwing you off course, or you can learn to adjust your sails and move in the direction the wind allows. Rigid expectations are like an unyielding sail. If you cling to them without adapting, they will break and you will sink. But if you learn to be flexible, you can reach any destination, even if it's not the one you originally envisioned. Seneca warned us, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." We do not suffer because of what is happening. We suffer because of what we imagined would happen but never did. So instead of holding on to uncertainty, why not learn to let go? Why not accept life as it is rather than demanding it fit into a vision of perfection? If you feel disappointed today, ask yourself this: am I upset because things are truly bad, or just because they didn't meet my expectations? If it's the latter, you know what to do. Let go. Accept. Move forward. Happiness does not come from controlling everything. It comes from learning to accept and enjoy the journey, even when it takes an unexpected turn. And when you finally release the expectations that tie you to the past or the future, you will realize something extraordinary. The only moment that truly belongs to you is the present. No more worrying about what should have happened. No more regretting what has already passed, and only the here and now. But how do you truly live in the present? How do you feel every breath, every moment without letting your mind drift into uncertainty? Let's move on to the next step to find out. 5. Live in the now. Imagine holding a glass of ice-cold water on a scorching summer day. You have two choices and take small sips, savoring the refreshing coolness as it spreads across your tongue. Gulp it down all at once only to be left with an empty glass and an unsatisfied thirst. Life works the same way. Are you truly savoring each moment? Or are you rushing through them without stopping to feel? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Give yourself a gift, the present moment." But have you ever truly unwrapped this gift? Or do you spend your days rummaging through old boxes of the past or anxiously waiting for the next package from the future? We worry so much about what has not yet arrived and regret so much of what has already passed that we let slip away the only thing that truly belongs to us: the now. Think of a child running barefoot on the grass for the first time. They are not thinking about tomorrow. They are not worried about whether they are running fast enough. They simply feel the softness of the grass beneath their feet, the laughter carried by the wind, the heartbeat dancing in pure joy. But as we grow older, we forget how to live like that. We fill our minds with what we must do, with what we should have done differently, with what might happen, until there is no room left to enjoy the present. Seneca put it clearly. Life is like a play. What matters is not its length, but the quality of the performance. So why are you so worried about how the play will end? Why not fully immerse yourself in the scene you are already in? If life is a performance, this moment is the scene you are acting out. What a waste it would be to stand there tense about the next act or dwelling on the last. How do you learn to live in the present? Start with something simple. When you wash your hands, feel the water sliding between your fingers. When you eat, close your eyes and savor every layer of flavor. When someone speaks to you, truly listen instead of just waiting for your turn to reply. And when your mind begins to wander into useless worries, bring it back, like a kite gently returning to the sky. You cannot live in tomorrow, you cannot rewrite yesterday. But you can choose to fully live today. Do not wait until it is too late to realize that you went through life without ever truly living it. 6. Gratitude in difficult times. Have you ever paused to breathe in the scent of the earth after a storm? That raw, comforting aroma is proof that no matter how much it rains, the earth remains patient, absorbing everything and renewing itself. Life works the same way. Suffering is not the end. It is the raw material from which we grow. It is the teacher that teaches us to practice gratitude, even when everything seems to be falling apart around us. Feeling grateful in the face of adversity sounds contradictory, doesn't it? When loss weighs heavy on your shoulders, how could you possibly feel thankful? But try to see it through the eyes of a Stoic. They do not seek happiness in fleeting pleasures, but in their ability to accept reality and use every situation as an opportunity to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Challenges do not block your way, they are the way. If adversity is the storm, gratitude is the sail that allows you to harness the opposing winds and keep moving forward. Think of a climber. When the path becomes steeper, he could complain about the difficulty, or he could be grateful for the firm rocks beneath his feet, because without them, he would have nowhere to step. Life works the same way. Challenges do not appear to destroy you. They exist to help you discover an inner strength you never knew you had. Epictetus once said, "Difficulties show a person's true character." So when you face hardships, imagine yourself as a fighter. God, as your trainer, has paired you with a formidable opponent, because he knows you are ready to face it. If life presents you with an overwhelming challenge, be grateful, because it is shaping you into someone stronger. But how do you practice gratitude when everything seems to be falling apart? A simple yet powerful method: write down 3 things you still have, even in your darkest moments. If you lose a job, remember that you still have your skills and experience. If you lose a relationship, be grateful for the lessons of love and growth. If you feel lost, appreciate that you still have time to find your way. Gratitude does not deny pain. It simply shifts your perspective and helps you see the hidden opportunities within it. Congratulations, you have reached the halfway point. Not everyone makes it this far. Now take a moment to reflect. Which of these 6 lessons resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. I would love to hear them. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for me, don't hesitate to share. I am always open to learning. But don't stop here. The picture is still incomplete. Only when you reach the end of this journey will everything make sense. 7. Master your mind. Have you ever felt trapped in a dark room, surrounded by negative thoughts whispering that everything will only get worse? That room is your own mind when you allow anxiety and stress to take control. But what you may not realize is that you have always had the key in your hand: the ability to master your own thoughts. Life is a series of unpredictable events: failure, loss, criticism, doors slamming shut in your face. But here's the most incredible truth. In your darkest moments, you can discover your greatest strength. If you learn to navigate your mind, you cannot stop the waves of the ocean, but you can learn how to sail. Try this simple exercise. When stress overwhelms you, place your hand on your chest and take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating, like a warrior who has survived 1,000 battles and is still standing. Exhale slowly, as if you were shedding a suit of armor made of worries. Do you notice something? In that moment, nothing external matters. It is just you and the peace you have created. Life is like a painting. If you stand too close, all you see are chaotic brushstrokes. But when you step back, you see the full image and its true meaning. The same applies to difficulties, and right now you are looking at them too closely. You are letting them consume your entire vision. But if you take a step back and see the bigger picture, you will realize that fear is not real. It is just a tiny brushstroke within your long journey. The most important thing: treat yourself like your best friend. When you make mistakes, when you fall, do not become your own worst enemy. Just as muscles need resistance to grow, the mind needs challenges to strengthen. What you are going through is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that you are becoming more resilient every day. So the next time you feel trapped in that dark room of negative thoughts, remember that you have the key. Slow down your breathing. Take a step back, look at the bigger picture, and tell yourself, I am not my fears. I am not my circumstances. I am the master of my mind. And when you truly believe it, no storm will ever bring you down. 8. Build inner strength. There is a story about the phoenix. When fire consumed its nest, when pain tore through its wings, it did not scream in despair. It stood firm in the flames, and from its own ashes it was reborn, brighter, stronger. The question is, when adversity burns through your life, will you turn to ashes, or will you rise like a phoenix? Inner strength is not about being cold and impenetrable. It is not about building a wall of steel between you and pain. It is the ability to step into the fire without fear of being consumed. It is what allows you to not just survive the storm, but learn to dance in the rain. Imagine your mind as a fortress. If you do not reinforce its walls, the first storm will bring them down. But if you take the time to strengthen them, if you focus on building resilience instead of fearing collapse, then no hurricane will ever break you. Seneca put it clearly. Difficulties strengthen the mind just as labor strengthens the body. So why run from challenges? Every obstacle, every failure is another brick in the construction of an indomitable mind. But developing inner strength is not about waiting for the storm and then trying to withstand it. You can start now. Practice premeditatio malorum. Visualize the worst that could happen, not to panic, but to prepare. Train your mind like a warrior. Do not see adversity as an enemy, but as a test. And most importantly, remember this. You have survived thousands of difficult days before, so what is one more? Right now you may feel like you are sinking, but look up. The bottom is not the end, and it is the place from which you push off with the most force. And one day you will look back, smile, and realize that the flames that once burned you were the same ones that made you shine brighter than ever. But to rise again, you need a strong foundation. That foundation is you. Because a resilient mind cannot thrive in a burnt-out body. To keep moving forward, you need more than willpower. You must learn to care for and nourish yourself. Let's see how. 9. Take care of yourself. Imagine yourself as a warrior running into battle. No armor, no preparation, barefoot wielding a dull sword. Self-care is your armor. It is the foundation that keeps you strong in the face of life's inevitable challenges. A wise warrior does not wait until the wound is too deep to seek healing. He prepares in advance. He strengthens his body and mind before the storm arrives, so that when it does, he does not fall. So why do you wait until you're exhausted to listen to your body? The Stoics reminded us that our body is a temple, something to be cared for and respected, not a machine that must keep running until it breaks. But ask yourself this: do you truly treat your body like a temple, or like a machine that cannot stop, no matter the cost? When life gets tough, we often react in the worst possible way. We sacrifice sleep, we skip meals, and we let stress consume us. We push ourselves like an overworked horse, forcing it to run until it collapses. Without realizing that, without rest, we will never reach the finish line. When your mind is clouded by exhaustion, negativity, and hopelessness, it is easier to be defeated. Resilience does not come from destroying yourself. It comes from knowing how to recover. Just as fire needs fuel to burn brightly, your energy depends on restorative sleep, deep intentional breaths, nourishing food, moments of stillness to restore your mind. Have you ever watched a river flow powerfully and wondered what keeps it moving? It is not reckless effort, it is its natural course. You are the same. When you learn to nurture yourself instead of forcing yourself, you discover an unshakable strength from within. Sleeping well does not make you lazy. Taking a day to rest does not make you a failure. A moment of stillness is not weakness. It is the opposite. These are the very things that recharge you so you can keep moving forward. Take care of yourself. Not because you are weak, but because you want to be strong. Do not wait until your fire turns to ashes to desperately search for more energy. Treat yourself with respect now, because you deserve strength. You deserve peace. You deserve to walk through the world with unshakable resilience. If you are ready to prioritize yourself and build lasting happiness, comment "Love yourself" as a commitment to your well-being. 10 Happiness in Connections. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We were born to cooperate, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of upper and lower teeth. We are not meant to isolate ourselves from the world, but to connect, support, and share." But ask yourself this: do all the relationships in your life bring you balance? Or are there people who leave you drained, like a candle that burns until it disappears? Seneca warned us, surround yourself with those who help you become better. A true relationship is not one where you lose your essence to please others. It is a space where you are respected, encouraged to grow, and find a genuine connection with another soul. A true friend is not someone who always agrees with you. It is someone who dares to tell you the truth, even when it is hard to hear. But not all relationships in life are enriching. Some wear you down. People who drain your energy, who make you doubt yourself, who even weaken your faith in life. Have you ever been in a relationship where every conversation feels like a storm? Argument after argument going in circles, only to feel empty in the end? If so, it is time to learn to set boundaries. Learn to say no without explanations. Stop trying to please everyone. Understand that you are not responsible for carrying other people's burdens, if doing so leaves you empty. A healthy relationship is not one where you constantly have to prove your worth. It is one where you can be yourself without fear of judgment. How do you change this? Start by observing. How do you feel when you are around someone? If a relationship makes you feel like a candle melting away until nothing remains, then maybe that is not your place. Have the courage to walk away, because happiness is not found in what you hold on to. It is found in what you choose to let go of. And if you fear loneliness, remember this: peaceful solitude is always better than living in toxicity. Cultivate connections that bring you value. Be the person others seek when they need light in their darkest moments. Treasure those who treat you with sincerity, because happiness does not come from the number of relationships you have. It comes from the depth of the hearts that truly understand yours. And above all, never forget, you deserve relationships that make you feel loved, uplifted, and free to be who you truly are. 11. Follow what drives you. Passion is not just a fleeting spark. It is the flame that lights your path. It is the reason you get up every morning with determination, even when life gets difficult. When everything around you falls apart, what will keep you standing and what will push you forward, even when the road is covered in fog? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting up, tell yourself, 'I must go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain about if I am doing what I was born to do?'" We were not born just to exist. We were born to do something meaningful. When you pursue what you love, time stops being your enemy. Challenges stop being walls. They become the very bricks that build your path. Imagine a river flowing. If its course is blocked, the water stagnates, turns murky, and loses its vitality. But if it keeps moving, navigating rocky rapids and narrow paths, it will eventually find its way to the sea. Your passion is like that river. If you bury it under fear or the excuse of someday, it will slowly dry up. But if you let it guide you, it will carve its own path. You may think you lack time, talent, or opportunities to pursue what truly ignites your soul, but Epictetus taught us, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. You do not need to be perfect from the start. You just need to begin. An artist does not wait for the perfect painting to take shape in their mind before picking up the brush. A writer does not wait to have the entire story before putting pen to paper. And you should not wait either. Take action even before you feel ready. If doubt lingers, look back. You have already overcome challenges that once seemed impossible. You have already achieved things you once thought were beyond your reach. So why do you think today is any different? Life may test you, but it cannot take away what you are willing to fight for with your soul. So start today. One small step, one simple action. but a commitment to yourself. Do not let life slip away in regrets, because when you pursue what truly drives you, you do not just find joy, you find yourself. Before we reach the final lesson, pause for a moment and listen to yourself. What is the one thing that makes your heart beat faster? What makes you lose track of time when you're immersed in it? Share it in the comments. Maybe this is your first step toward discovering your true path. 12. Celebrate the small victories. Have you ever felt like your small efforts don't matter? That despite all your hard work, you still haven't achieved anything truly great? This is a dangerous illusion, an invisible chain that holds you back. The Stoics did not seek greatness in dramatic leaps, but in the persistence of every small step. Epictetus reminded us, nothing great is created suddenly. A sculptor does not create a masterpiece with a single strike of the chisel, but with thousands of careful touches shaping with patience and precision. Your life is the same. Happiness is not at the top of the mountain. It is in the journey you take to get there. Every time you push forward, even just a little, finishing one page of a book, running one more mile, controlling one moment of anger, you are building the foundation of your confidence and motivation. But if you never stop to acknowledge those small wins, you will always feel like it's never enough. Ask yourself, how much have you grown in the past year? Do not underestimate slow progress, because even the most powerful river began as a single drop of water. You do not need to reach perfection immediately. You just need to keep going and celebrate that. Do not wait for a major achievement to feel proud of yourself. Be proud now for your daily perseverance, for moving forward even when the road is difficult. You may feel tired, you may think your efforts don't matter, but remember the last time you overcame a challenge you thought was impossible. The moment you stood up after falling, you did it then, and you will keep doing it. If today you can only take a small step, then take it. If today you can only make one small effort, then do it. Because every action, no matter how small, is another brick in the foundation of the strong person you are becoming. And one day you will look back and realize, all great things are made of small moments. We have explored 12 Stoic principles to help you rediscover happiness, even when life feels difficult. But these lessons are not just theory. They are practical keys to maintaining inner peace no matter the storms of life. Happiness is not something distant. It is the peace you can create within yourself regardless of obstacles. When you accept that difficulties are an inevitable part of life, you will learn not only to overcome them, but to embrace them as part of the journey. Trust yourself, because every small step you take is bringing you closer to where you want to be. If this episode has been helpful to you and you haven't liked it yet, take a moment to support the podcast. Leave me a comment. Which part of this episode resonated with you the most? And if you know someone who could use some motivation, share this episode with them. Don't forget to subscribe, because even more incredible content is on the way. Let's keep conquering life's challenges with resilience and a peaceful heart. See you in the next episode.